Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Matchbook Horse Racing Podcast. A second pod this week for you, and we finish up with Newmarket's July Cup meeting, and we've got a bit of action from York and Ascot as well as what is traditionally known as Batshit Crazy Saturday. There's not too much racing, is there, Rixie? We love it.
No, we need more. Yeah, we need more racing. Yeah, that'll drive betting turnover and it'll get us all the paddock shots and the betting updates and post-race analysis, pre-race analysis. Yeah, we need more. Please give us more.
But where are you going to be based this Saturday, Natalie?
I will be in the studio in London for the Racing Post.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hey, Tom, we kind of like siblings today. I've got this like quiff going on because I'm trying to do my hair. But if you didn't know, we look at it. We look similar.
We could be. You could be my younger sister.
Younger. Oh, I love it.
Oh, what a charmer.
There you go. Right. I'm not going to remind you of anything because I'm going to plug content we've got coming up. We have our second watch along coming up. That's the Racing Watch Along. That's today with Dan Hussey, Steve Jones, and Mihal DC. That's live at 1:30. And that's covering all 6 live ITV races. So a couple of races from York and 4 from Newmarket. It went well last time. Remember, we are raising money for racing welfare. There's £1,000 in the account. That's guaranteed for racing welfare, plus anything we make on top of that. Episode 4 of Match Meets. That's with Terry Dartnell, who's a notorious greyhound punter, is out now. That's in all the usual channels and well worth.
Has Tom gone still?
Yeah, I thought that was my my internet for a second.
I thought it was mine. I thought I went.
Yeah, we seem to have lost Tom there, so I think he might be coming back here now, guys.
Here's the pro.
You good, Tom?
You pronounced Eileen Dove wrong, and
you went. I
suddenly heard Dan talking. I was really confused. Where did I get up to in the plugging the content, Rixie?
We weren't listening.
Yeah, I wasn't listening.
Oh, great! Well done, everyone. Well, anyway, there's a Matchbook Meets pod out at the moment. There is the watch along coming up today, and insights.matchbook.com for all of Friday's tips. Whew, solid. Right, we're going to get this done in under an hour. 11 races. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Get set. Here we go. Race number 1 is the feature, the Darley July Cup Stakes. Prices as follows. We'll get there very shortly. So that's on screen at the moment. Is the first of the races that we that is on ITV. But the Darley July Cup looks like this. Right at the top of the betting. Well, Godolphin are pretty warm towards the top of the betting, but Perfect Power is 3.6. Artorias is 5.0. Then Creative Force 6.8. Naval Crown 8.0. The Platinum Jubilee 1-2, Romantic Proposal 11.0, Flaming Rib 13.5. Then we're into the bigger prices. I think one of those is going up. Okay, Rixie, I'm going to come to you first of all. So you think that the Ascot form is central to this, and it's the older horse Ascot form?
Yeah, look, basically my view on this race, I think there's, in terms of just raw ability, nothing separates Perfect Power, Artorias, Creative Force, Naval Crown. I basically think they're all 115 horses. So whoever set the race sets up well from the day. Whoever enjoys the track, and performs, I think is going to come out on top. I think if you like Perfect Power, I think he's going to be bigger in running, surely, because he didn't exactly travel that well early at Ascot, and this is a quicker track now, the July course, than Ascot. So if you like him, I think you can get bigger in running. Artorias the same. He went to me like a 7 furlong horse in the Platinum Jubilee. He finished off his race very well, maybe a little bit unlucky running into traffic. Again, he's another horse who's going to be running on a quicker track. I'm not sure that's going to suit. And the other thing with him as well is those Aussie horses, they're used to running on flat tracks. And I remember Chris Waller brought a horse here a couple of years ago who ran well in the Diamond Jubilee. It was a Brazen Bow. And then they sent him on here, didn't run too well. And he just said he thought part of the reason why he didn't run well is because the Aussie horses are not conditioned to running downhill. And he said he got lost in the race. So I just found that interesting. So yeah, look, the horse for me is Creative Force. He's been a little bit unlucky. He was unlucky in this race last year behind Starman. I thought he got a little bit too far behind. And the same happened to him the last day at Ascot in the Platinum Jubilee, but he finished out his race well. I just hope William Buick can get him out of the stalls a little bit quicker, sit closer to the pace. And, he's a horse who's got form over further. He stays well. So,
I was going to ask you sort of straight away when I knew who you were putting up. Are you worried that this horse might also just be a stiff 6/7 furlong horse or not?
Yeah, no, he could be, but he's a bigger price, isn't he? So that's kind of what I'm going on. But to be fair to him, when he won on British Champions Day last year, he tracked the leaders. I think it's well within his capability. And the other thing with him is I think because he's been run over further in his career. He's a horse who's been learning to sprint. I think at Royal Ascot, we now know he can sprint on quick ground. So I think it's all coming together for him. Charlie Appleby in form, local track to them. So just in terms of prices, it's going to be Creative Force for me.
Okay, Creative Force for you. Natalie, I'm in agreement with your selection. Flaming Rib.
Are you? Well, yeah, you look at the Commonwealth Cup or the Platinum Jubilee. Flaming Rib, I mean, he did brilliantly to get second. I was screaming so loud. I'm slightly biased, Tom, because it is just up the road and I have seen him quite a few times in the last couple of weeks. But, I like to look at horses physically, mentally. He's been working really well at home. Ben Curtis has been in at Manor House and seemed really, really pleased with Flaming Rib. Look, they supplemented him for £36,000. Don't just go, oh, Michael Owen's part owner, they can afford it. That's not it. It's a lot of money to supplement this horse. This horse, I think, look, Hugo Palmer inherited this horse at Manor House when he took over the reins. Hey, I've got all the one-liners, me. And I think he has exceeded all expectations. We can look at that Chester form with King's Lynn. It's just all been franked. It's coming up good. But it's more, honestly, Tom, if I could buy a flat horse, it would be Flaming Rib. He's by Rib Chester. Everything about him physically, he's just come right. And it's happening now. It's happened over the last 8 weeks. He's just really come right. He's very strong. I watched him work the other day and he did blow me away. And also something that I don't think should be underestimated is his temperament. I promise you, he is one of the nicest colts on the whole yard. He's not silly. He's not bitey. He's not giddy. He's professional. And I think he's just coming into himself. And I'm really excited. If you haven't guessed. I found the winner.
I hope so. I like him because I think he's the pace. And what's interesting is he and Twilight Jet were drawn next to each other at Ascot, and Twilight Jet didn't really miss it necessarily. I wonder if he doesn't like being around other horses. When he won on his reappearance, he was out and gone, and that didn't happen at Ascot. So I sort of hope they don't kill each other up top, but I think this horse will go forward, and that's the main reason I want to play him. And then he was coming back at the line at Ascot as well. He ran really well that day.
You just hit the nail on the head. He's really tough.
Yeah, he just kept finding. It's just a price selection. I thought he was slightly overpriced against some hold-up horses. It's an interesting race because there's so many hold-up types in there. So I'm sort of banking on something just getting away from them, hopefully, and I hope it's that horse. And the other angler, Giles has said Twilight Jet scoped badly after Ascot. Good info, thank you very much. Interesting enough. Still the point after out the gates was the slight. Well, maybe that affected him, but that was a slight worry. He's interesting, Twilight Jet. Again, if you want to play, I think he'll trade shorter in the run. I think a few of them that are up there might well trade shorter in the run. I thought that Double or Bubble was the one that was massively overpriced, and I'm going to play her 4 places. There was just a point in the Platinum Jubilee where I thought she's going to feature here, and the last half a furlong she ran out of puff. I think this track will definitely suit her better, and I don't think she'll be too far away. But in a race where the top of the market is predominantly centred around Perfect Power, Artorias, and to an extent for me Creative Force, though I take Rix's point about the price and the class he is. I just wanted to be against those hold-up types at a track where certainly the first day it's paid to be up there, and it tends to be that way. So that's how I'm looking to play it.
Been a couple of front-running winners of this race as well. Harry Angel, I don't think 10 Sovereigns was far away. You know, like I think this track will really suit Flaming Rib because he's also got that early pace, and you know, if you're balanced enough to handle that downhill run, and other horses are kind of getting in their own way, you can definitely steal a couple of lengths here, and it's always a track I like to back kind of forward going horses on as well. So yeah, Flaming Rib definitely is an interesting shout at the prices. I'm just not sure though. I'm just not sure they're good enough.
No, I completely agree, and it might be that I just the race shaped up as a perfect race to take Perfect Power on. Like I totally get what he did at Ascot was brilliant, got a great ride, but that's Ascot and that's him. And if there is of all the Group 1 6 furlong races, just think this could be the one that really potentially isn't going to suit. Love the horse, but mind you, I said that at the Rolling Mile last year in the middle part, was it? And it was fine there. So
yeah. If he's going to win, I think he's going to win like Muharar won. No, crack on. Tom's gone again.
He'll be livid with that one.
You're gonna have to step in, Natalie, presenter.
No, well, I don't know what we're doing next. I mean, I can absolutely. What race we're doing next? We're going back.
I'll hop in, guys. We're gonna start with the John Smith's racing handicap. So I'll get the prices up, Natalie, if you want to take it away and who you're backing for that.
Yes, this is the 145, isn't it? Well,
yes.
I'm fascinated by this race. I've gone Blue for You for quite a few reasons. David O'Mara, Danny Totope. I mean, it's been a brilliant narrative. Danny Totope, what a good lad he is and a fabulous jockey. And I'm pleased that he's been having many days in the limelight because he deserves it. Now, this horse, the reason I'm so interested in it, this is an ex-Dermot Weld horse. David, when I first started working in Yorkshire 9 years ago, when I did all the tracks in Yorkshire, this is what he does. This is what he is good at, taking these horses, getting them to bounce back, getting them to go back to their ability. Now, again, what is fascinating, not only does David do really well with these types, the time before last, I don't think it actually worked out well trying to hold the horse up. I don't think that was the ride that this horse needed. I think the last time we saw him, that was it a Sandown? Yeah. It was a much better run because it was a really positive ride. And he wasn't worn down until late on, to be fair. And I think with this horse, it's a case of finding an opportunity. This is a big opportunity because it's York, but again, a track that David very much targets. This is now the third run. The visors added. First time was held up, didn't work. Last time was positive and a much better result. So I think this is a case of third time lucky. So Blue for You is my pick.
Rixie, you haven't made your case, have you, for Eileen?
No, not yet. I suppose the first thing to say about this race, there looks like a good bit of pace on here. Isla K, Blue for You as well. Aileen, Dove, Chalet, they all like to go forward. But I'm going to stick with the course and distance winner, Aileen Dove. He won on the Sunday series here back on the 22nd of May, and I kind of just going back watching the video, I couldn't believe he won given how keen he was. For 3 furlongs he was stupidly keen, and I thought Clifford Lee done quite well to get him settled. He did settle down eventually, but just as he kind of settled down, the race took off again. So I think it's clear this horse has got a pretty sizable engine, and what he needs is pace, and he's going to get pace to run at here. York is always a track I like course and distance for him. I don't know whatever it is. Some horses, they go there and they just run stupid for whatever reason. I don't know. It's a very fair track. I can't really put my finger on it, but I suppose if we go back to that old phrase, horses for courses. But basically he comes here in the back of a poor run at Ponty. But I thought dropping down to 6 furlongs was the wrong move. I thought I can see why they did it, because he was keen the last day and they thought he'd travel. But I think there's a difference between keenness and pace.
That's also, can I jump in? The reason they did it is because there's a £100,000 bonus for winning 3 races in the Sunday series. And the problem was that because he's now rated out the 0 to 95 bracket, and that was the last possible, it was a 0 to 90. That was the last possible race they could have run in to get the £100,000 bonus. They were pretty pissed off, basically, that they couldn't run over a mile. So it wasn't trick or anything. It was purely to try and chase the bonus. They knew they were they knew they were cooked because they didn't think it would suit him, but they were just trying it.
Yeah, okay, that's actually unbelievable information. Thank you for that. I didn't know that, so cheers. So yeah, look, Aileen Dove for me. I think that he's clearly a keen going horse. And I think this weekend as well, we shouldn't underestimate horse's ability to handle quick ground. You know, you're going to have to handle quick ground. He doesn't, those big kind of heavy topped horses, you're going to need to stay away from those. He looks quite a small, compact type. So I think he'll roll along in the ground. And yes, I'm going to stick with Aileen Dove.
The only thing I'll add to that is that he is like they basically laid him out to try and win the 100 grand bonus. And then they've realised the slight issue, I think they're going to address it next year in the series, is to try and make the end of the last couple of meetings have a bigger bracket. Because when he ran off 79 in the first of his races, he was the joint bottom weight. And yet he's won too easy and gone up too much. So basically, I think he's still really well treated. Put a line through 6 furlongs last time. They were trying to win the bonus. A mile is his trip. I think he's got a great chance. I agree. Done?
Maybe it's all conspiracy. They don't want these horses to win the bonus. Dum, dum, dum.
Listen, I'm not affiliated with Sky Bet in any way, but you know, it's a bit of a bollocks. But they, in all honesty, they've realised the issue. They made it a 0 to 85er so that middle of the road horses, if you like, got a chance to win good prize money. And now they're like, shit, but nothing has got a great chance of winning 3 because they're going to progress to over 90. Right. I don't even know where we're going next. I'm just waiting for the producer to help me.
We're going to Newmarket, 205.
Newmarket. The filly, this was tough. The filly's handicap. Nothing from you. I know, Rixie. Kidwell 2.76. Truly Acclaimed 5.6. Miss Caroline 5.9. Golden Spice 6.6. Silk and Petals 9.2. Victoria Grove 9.6. 21.30 the last 2. I'll just have a quick line on this. I thought Miss Caroline, she's interesting. She was really disappointing at Carlisle. Maybe the stiff finish caught her out. She was really well backed for the Phillies trial at Newbury, the Fred Darling, and then was massively disappointing. I think she's well treated. I can't quite work her out. And then I think ultimately Kidwell will just win. I love the way she went about it, but she's not a massive she's not a massive price. She's clearly fine on top of the ground. 7 furlongs, I don't think it'll be a problem, but it'd just be a very small interest bet for me, nothing major. Natalie.
Yeah, it is tricky, isn't it? I mean, Kidwell, you can see why. I mean, Haggis can do no wrong, just day in, day out. But like Haydock last weekend for their sort of festival, 4 winners on the Thursday, almost a 5-timer. Then had a winner on the Friday evening. Then on the Saturday, Nathaniel Green. It's just boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. And look, we've seen Kidwell twice, and she's 2 from 2. The step up in class is absolute natural progression. Can totally see why she's here. Can totally see why favourite. But I do like to take on the favourites. At the moment, it's really hard with Haggis because he just keeps firing out the winners. So you wouldn't do badly, would you, just following Haggis? But John Quinn's Charge. Now, I like John with fillies. I mean, we can name loads, but Highfield Princess, she's actually not the easiest with a head up, and she gets fiery, and he's just done so well with her, but Truly Acclaimed. Oisin McSweeney's on board, so I was looking at him, taking off that valuable £5 claim, but this current season, he's had 95 rides, 11 wins, 10 seconds, 8 thirds, 8 fourths, so he's there. He's hitting the crossbar. He's clearly doing pretty well for himself. In the last 14 days, he's 2 from 13 with a 15% strike rate. So it's nice to see him riding in good confidence. Truly Acclaimed ran well at Newmarket to come second in May over this distance. She travels strongly, which I really like. Also, what I like is she's won her last 2, one at York, and the last time was at Ayr. So she is seeking 3 from 3, but John Quinn, fillies, she's in good form. Jockey's in good form, taking off the £5. I just thought if I'm going to look at something to beat Kidwell, it will be Truly Acclaimed.
Yeah, that's the 205 at Newmarket. It's a decent enough renewal of the race. We move on back to York, and this is effectively a piss poor renewal of the race, but never mind. We've got 3 in it. I'll give you the betting. Without a Fight is bang at the top of it, and Who have we got? Have I gone to the wrong race? What have I done? Have I missed the 3? No.
No,
Well,
you're right.
220.
14:20.
220 York.
Oh, they're skipping. We're not. Oh, there we are. Okay. We're back. 2.14 without a fight. Thunderous 2.76. John Leaper 4.5. I think that I'm not sure whether these are now on ITV, so we've just previewed them for shits and giggles. Without,
We like that.
yeah, I couldn't. I'm not interested enough to have a go at anything. Although I think John Leaper is interesting as a stayer going forward. Without a fight for you, Rixie?
Yeah, look, as you said, very poor race. Another small field in a good race here in the UK. Yeah, look, he beat John Leaper the last day at York in the race of the Eber Cup Stakes. To be fair, he had total run of the race compared to John Leaper that day. It's held him comfortably at the line, but John Leaper's now £3 worse off, so it's hard to see. I can see Thunderous. He's a rare Mark Johnson horse who actually seems to like York. He looked like he was going to be a really good horse once upon a time when he won the Dante. He maybe hasn't gone on like we'd hoped, but he's a nice horse. I just wonder, he's been off for 44 days. That was kind of the worry for me. The Johnson horses don't usually get that much of a break, and maybe it was just a case that there was no race for him and they were targeting him at this. But yeah, look, I think with Thunderous maybe will give Without a Fight a nice lead, and he can quick and pass them. I thought it was interesting the last day when Without a Fight won, he'd a sub 11 seconds furlong, which is kind of, I know they didn't go much of a gallop, but that's pretty impressive for a horse over that kind of trip. So yeah, look, terrible race, but kind of sticking with the obvious here with Without a Fight.
Any bets for you, Natalie?
Terrible race. So let's have some fun. Back the outsider of 3, they say. Do a straight forecast as it is in the market. Without a Fight, Thunderous, John Leaper, boom, like that. Or go totally mental like me. I'm going to have Thunderous, followed by Without a Fight, followed by John Leaper. Because what intrigues me about Thunderous is exactly what you've already alluded to, this 44-day break, which the Johnsons don't normally do. So I kind of like that in a way, in a really weird way. I'm taking what could be a negative as a positive, because they know the time of day. They certainly don't always run runners for fun, particularly not at York. They are a winning machine yard, and all they want are winners. I just quite like the attitude of Thunderous. You've already said previous ability, so I'm just hoping can sort of bounce back to that, and has ran in obviously some really great company. So I'm going to be really brave and do Thunderous, Without a Fight, John Leaper, but people can still have fun with this. It's a rubbish having 3 runners, but you can make it have more value by doing these forecasts or by betting the outsider of 3.
Okay, Thunderous in the end for you. Rixie, you know your name's spelled wrong.
My name is spelled wrong. Where? On the...
Say again.
Where's it spelled wrong?
No, on your T-shirt.
Oh, my T-shirt. Oh, Jesus. That's Rick and Morty. I was wondering.
That's really good.
Should I know?
I actually hadn't even got that.
That's brilliant. I think you planned it.
Yeah, I was like, what is he going on about?
Let's move on to the...
better move on. Yeah, we better move on.
I've come home from France and my Wi-Fi, I don't know what's going on. I'm in my office.
I was just about to say, what's going on? I mean, where do you live? In the outback of nowhere?
In my office, which is normally fine. I've opened the door. I don't know what's happening. Maybe
I'm in
heat. Maybe
in a field that's nice than you.
Anyway, there we are. It was in the Dordogne. Bay of Honor is 3.45. Lasso Dude is 4.0. Jimi Hendrix 4.7. Be Lucky My Son 7.4. Lawful Command 8.4. Leave it there. I'll kick off with Lasso Dude, who I was impressed with last time. I think that the Christophe Soumillon booking is interesting. Stuck his head down, moved really well on quick grounds. A wall front, I think, once this sort of surface. And the Secret State form is rock solid. I thought he could be a good bit shorter. I thought Yeah, I'm a huge Charlie Appleby fan. I thought Bay of Honor was short enough, so I would have a small win bet Lasso Dude on that secret state form and the way he went about it last time. I thought it was much cozier than the 1.25 lengths winning distance. So Lasso Dude for me, Natalie.
Lasso Dude too. I mean, I you know, you've got to like the top three in the betting here, because they're very, very likable horses. They're very backable horses. Bay of Honor, fabulous, typical Charlie Appleby horse. But Lasso Dude, I basically said what you've said, but ex Michael Stat horse, now Richard Hannon. Stable debut for Hannon at Nottingham. To be fair, he did have every chance, but he was outpaced by the winner. And then last time at Doncaster, just like you said, 27 days ago, it was only 4 runner race, but it all came together. He made light of that opening mark of 87. He travelled really smoothly into the race. I watched a replay. I like that. I think the big thing, Tom, is surely he's likely to go on and improve the type of horse, the likeable horse. So I see Lasso Dude to come out on top.
Yeah, with you, Rixie.
Yeah, we should probably mention here there's a lot of pace on in this race. Spin Around, Lasso Dude, Jimi Hendrix, Lawful Command, and Positive Impact. But I think that pace will probably suit Jimi Hendrix more, because I think he sees out a mile very well. I thought he did incredibly well to win at Haydock back on the 28th of May in a race that wasn't run at that strong a gallop, and he was last. To be honest, it actually looked like he maybe had he wasn't the most straightforward. It looked like he kind of dropped himself out a little bit. But then he went to Royal Ascot and ran third in the Britannia, and he looked a completely different horse. It looks like maybe the penny has dropped with him. He was much more alive. He jumped well. He got into stride well. Went with plenty of zest at the head of affairs. And he tried to make all up the Ascot straight track, which is never easy. And going to the 2 furlong pole, the majority of this field, they were off the bridle. He went very well. I think it was understandable he was collared late by Theseus and Saga, who were given more patient rides. I'm hoping his kind of front running, forward going style will suit this the July course better. And it's a little bit of a worry that he might be taken on, because there's plenty of pace on here. But again, I think he needs this pace to bring out the best of him. So, it's going to be Jimi Hendrix for me here. And hopefully I'll be doing a bit of air guitar later when he crosses the line.
Rixie, I think as well, genuinely, because I was toying, Jimi Hendrix was the eye catcher in the preliminaries, I thought, at Ascot. And the real eye catcher in the race, because I thought he did unbelievably well to get third. I thought it was a very eye-catching performance. It was down in my other notebook.
So when you say eye-catching in the parade ring, what did you like about him?
I just always like to look at the horses, just the way he looks physically, fitness-wise, attitude.
Just looked healthy and bright and
looked good. Like, when you just look at them, you go, that's nice. And then I looked, and I hadn't really given him much time, I've got to admit. And that's why I wrote it down in my notebook. So I was like, God, that looks nice, Jimi Hendrix. And then the way I saw him go through the race, I thought, flipping heck. When we then went through the replay, I was like, that was pretty eye-catching to come third.
Yeah. No, he did. He ran a huge race.
Ran very, very well.
And that's us done on that one, which is the mile handicap at Newmarket. Move on to a big field, 3 o'clock Heritage Handicap at Ascot. Tabdeed 9.2. No, you had the betting. Burning Cash 9.6. Lovely Mana 9.8. Nomadic Empire 12.0. 12.5 Mountain Peak. Zarzini's 10.0. And I'll leave it there. Rixie, nothing for you, I know, which is fine. Natalie, you can make your case.
Yeah, difficult, isn't it? Paul Midgley, gosh, he knows a thing or two about sprinters, doesn't he? So I can see the love for Burning Cash. Won his last 2 at Donny. Not been to Ascot before. That'd be interesting. Tabdeed ran really badly in the Wokingham over 6, but we know why. Slowly away, racing the centre. He was really badly hampered soon after the start. It's never going to be ideal, is it? In a sprint, he's consistent. Doesn't win that often though, so I can't have Tabdeed. I'm happy to have egg on my face, but just doesn't win a lot. So Lovely Mana for me. Mana. Is that how we're saying it? Lovely Mana. Yeah, for George Bowie, who's obviously excellent young trainer. She's been brilliant this year. If you're looking for negatives, you could say she's been busy. Was it 10 races this 2022. I think she's raced 10 times. She loves good to firm ground, owned by Steve Bradley. I think she was going to go in like a sales race, and I think George had said, "Oh, give me time." Like George obviously really does think a lot about her. Steve's got the Riddler. He's got loads of horses with Richard Fahey, and this is the only horse he has with George Bowie. And I think the hat trick is absolutely possible. Safi Osborne on board, taking off that 3. There's a lot to like about her. And what's the price, Tom? Have you got the price there on her? I think she's just very backable at the moment.
9.8. You go win and place.
Yeah, I would win and place, because it's a bet. It's a more realistic bet. It's a good bet. But when these fillies and mares are in form like she is, I would make hay of that. I think she's backable.
Yeah, lovely Mano, who's a little bit bigger than one of my selections, which is Tabdeed, who I totally take the point, he doesn't win very often. He had a sighter over 5 before running over 6 at Ascot, where I backed him, and he just in the Woking, it was a shit show. Squeezed out at the start. The Probert unseated and nearly tripped him up, and Probert didn't unseat, the horse unseat. Who unseats, the horse or the rider? That's a point. The horse unseats. The horse unseats the rider.
The horse unseats the rider. I mean, that was mental, wasn't it? That was mental.
David Probert didn't unseat. I feel that's mean. Anyway, Probert completely bollocks the race up for me. So thanks. Thankfully, he was okay.
Yeah.
So I think a stiff 5 is fine. Probably wants 6, but definitely well treated. Likes the track. I think worth a go, win and place. And the other one is Stone of Destiny, who's a course and distance winner. I don't know if I got as far down as the Stone of Destiny price, but he should be a fair old price. He looks as though he's not in form. 16.0, fine. But if 2 starts ago ran really well. Last time it was disappointing on the all weather, but 2 starts ago ran well. He's just so well treated. Course and distance is fine, and I straight course form at Ascot. If you're coming back to a similar sort of mark, I always think it's worth taking note of. He's below his last winning mark here, so I'll have a win and place bet on Stone of Destiny as well. Hopefully they go quick enough, because he wants them to, but they tend to here. Okay, Superlative Stakes. Not the biggest field. We've got 3 different selections for you, 1 each. And it looks like this. Godolphin Colt is at the top of the betting. He's my tentative selection, although I would be getting too carried away. Victory Dance 2.72. Lion of War 3.05. Isaac Shelby 5.0. Dark 37.6. For a laugh 24.0. The only thing I'll say on Victory Dance is up against a Jubmont horse who probably would have won had he not hung across the track. The interesting thing about Victory Dance on debut was how well supported the horse was. He was backed as if defeat was out the question. He's got a national stakes entry, which is interesting because Charlie Apple's got a great record in that. He'll probably stay further in time. That's a slight niggle about this, but he was just green on debut. I think he could be very good, and he was hammered on debut as if at the question. Ricky.
Look, this is an open race. I've just gone for a value selection in Isaac Shelby, just because basically on my ratings he achieved a little bit more than Victory Dance did on debut, and he's a bigger price. And the other thing, Brian Mean first time out 2-year-old winners are fairly rare. Usually when he has a juvenile winner that wins on its first go, the horse is pretty good. I just loved how Isaac Shelby hit the line at Newbury that day. It was over 6.5 furlongs. He ended up winning by 3.5 lengths, but he was only getting going at the line. If that race was a full 7 furlong race, I think he was going to put up a pretty big margin. So and the other thing with him is he looks like a nice mover. I'm a little bit worried about the ground potentially for Victory Dance. He does hit the ground a little bit hard. I think it's on his off 4. He's he hits the ground a little bit hard. And the other thing is he looked like he needed every single yard of that 7 furlongs the last day when he won. So yeah, just a price thing basically for me with Isaac Shelby. I do think I give a quick mention to the Michael Bell horse for a laugh here. He does. he does look overpriced. I know his form is not in the book. It's nowhere near as strong as the other horses there, but he's got form around that Godolphin horse, One Nation, whose form ties in collaterally with Isaac Shelby around a horse of Andrew Balding's. I can't remember his name now, but he just looks overpriced to me. And I can't remember too many times when Michael Bell has pitched a horse in like this into big company on its second start, having not kind of lit the world on fire on its first start. But he shaped well at Sandown, was very green, and finished out his race nicely. So that was just one I thought was interesting at a very big price in a small runner field.
And to complete the different trio, Natalie.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, Victory Dance, just another beautifully bred, great Charlie Appleby horse. I'm kind of taking on the 700,000 guineas he's purchased for as a foal with Line of War, who was 7,000 guineas as a yearling. So cheap. Look, 7,000 is still not cheap, but yes, it is cheap for a flat horse. Line of War's already won back that 7,000. Very aptly named Line of War by Roaring Lion. Let's just analyse his races really a little bit, because Newcastle latest was on the all-weather. It was a weak event. Let's not try and make it, that it wasn't, because it was. But what I liked about it is it just looks a really nice type of horse. Physically, it looks good. Physically, it looks strong. They're not whacking him into Group 2 for a laugh, because they don't need to. They've got so many horses. There's such a big yard. They don't need to just throw him into this. Also, he won on debut on turf. That was good to firm. But look at his entries as well. The Curragh in September, the Group 1 in the Vincent O'Brien National Stakes over 7. He's got an entry in that. So that's over 7. My problem, which you've already sort of alluded to really with Victory Dance, is it looks like a miler to me, through and through. This looks like a 7 furlong horse. He's even got a Derby entry for next year, by the way, Lion of War. I can see the love with Isaac Shelby, but I'm going to stick with Team Johnston, seeking a hat trick, a cheap purchase, taking on a very expensive purchase. So Lion of War.
Hopefully we get that right between us.
Lion of War, obviously, on the distaff side of the pedigree from the family of the great Hawkwing.
Here we go. I was going to link into that. I forgot about that. Yeah.
My head is obviously with Isaac Shelby, but my heart is with the Johnson horse.
Hawkwing 2002. His favourite horse in the year he was born.
Like it.
No, 2002 was his classic year.
What year were you born, Rixie? Go on.
Oh, fucking hell. No. I'm way older than I look. Let's just put it that way.
No, you're a 90s boy. Come on.
No, just shy.
Oh, we got it at you in the end. Shit,
yeah.
Really? You're youthful.
I'm absolutely finished.
Don't.
No, I feel old today.
And me and Natalie are like,
80s.
Right, good stuff. We're done there, aren't we? Yeah. Let me tell you about the welcome offer, if my Wi-Fi gets through it. £30 welcome offer. Money back as a free bet if your first bet loses. You've got to use the bonus code INSIGHTS30. That's INSIGHTS30. You know how it works. If you place your first bet, if it loses, Matt will refund your stake as a free bet up to £30. Terms and conditions apply. Be gamble aware, but it's well worth it. Listen to our podcast because you like to get best odds anyway, and you can get yourself a free bet up to £30.
I filled in for you there.
Did I get through it?
Mind for you. You should send me the script.
Yeah, there you go.
So it can be your voice, my mouth. Boom. No one else is doing that.
So I spilled an entire cup of coffee on my MacBook. So I'm using my wife's MacBook, which is the same, but it seems to be bugged. She's obviously been watching something she shouldn't.
No,
because
or you just need to keep the better one for you. Give her the cup.
This is knackered. Anyway,
my iPad is like this big and 6 years old. My husband's got this like flipping TV screen of an iPad. That's the way it works.
I'm going to go through the history on this bad boy, see what's causing the trouble. Right.
Cache cleanse. Is it cache?
So, move on swiftly. The Fred Cowley MBE Summer Mile Stakes. Chindit 3.25, 4.4 Muta Sabek, 4.5 Modern News, my Oberon 5.6. Muta Sabek, Rixie for you, Natalie no bet. Go on, Dec.
Yes, I'm hoping he's basically the quickest horse in the race. Chindit does like to go forward, Modern News and my Oberon, but I'm not sure they're out and out front runners. Maybe Pat Dobbs will go back to front running like he did in the Lock and John Chindit. But no, I was really disappointed with Chindit in the behind Baid in the Queen Anne, because he put a lovely run together when he in the Lockinge, and it looked like he was going to start building, but again he just went backwards again. So yeah, I've given up on Chindit. I thought he was going to be a really smart horse when he won the Champagne Stakes as a 2-year-old, but he just hasn't gone on. Modern News, I love Modern News. He's such a game horse. He's just been busy though. That's the other thing. And he needs a gallop. He did finish ahead of Muta Sabek when they ran at Epsom in the Dune Stakes, but I just thought that was a little bit of a weird race on the day. McGallen kind of got a little bit loose on the lead. Modern News kind of sat close to him, but Muta Sabek, I don't know why. It's like he kind of dropped himself out early and just gave himself far too much to do. To be fair, he did pick up well, and it looked like he was going to come with a run, but he wanted to edge down the camber there, and you know when you're doing that and you're trying to make up ground, it's a bad combo. So, but he's a quick horse. This fella, he has got gears, as we saw at Sandown earlier in the season in the Bet365 mile. Bloody hell, I'm having an absolute nightmare here. So yeah, he's got that kind of potent turn of foot, and I'm hoping that's what will win him in this race. So yeah, Muta Sabek for me.
Have you got an account with Bet36 Mile?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I do, yeah, but it's not on my name, is it? It's under Charlie. Oh, Tom. Oh, you've stalled on us again, Tom, with that cheesy grin.
His stalling faces
I've got to stop asking questions. Everything's lagging. Everything's lagging. I think Chindit's a bit of a hound, so I'm going to lay it.
Ooh.
Sorry, I think Chindit's a bit of a hound, so I'll lay him at 3.0 or shorter.
He's not a hound. He's just not good enough. We're trying to make him be better than he is. He's a cracking little horse. He's tiny. I remember him on his debut. He was gorgeous, but he's not good enough. Yeah, he is. He's not a Group 1 horse, is he? No, I agree. He's maybe kind of Group 2 or Group 3. I actually really wish with Richard Hannon they give him a chance over 10, because he's by Wootton Bassett, who all his best progeny I think have been 10 furlong horses, and I think his dam is actually related to Monju. Yeah. So, you know, that screams stamina. I just wish they'd give him a crack over 10 furlongs. I wish that too. Do you know why? Because look, I know he only won at Donny in March, but how many times do you want to keep getting him beat? And yeah. I totally agree with you last time I think Real World is flipping fantastic horse, by the way, as well. I mean, Baid's a superstar, but I think Real World is staggeringly good. And Order of Australia was on a brilliantly going day. But those 3 horses, I just don't think he's quite up to that level. And it'd be why not put him to the 10 and let him win. Yeah, just see, even kind of, I don't know if you use the stride data on attheraces.com, there's kind of, I think with Simon Rowlands, we look at a horse's strides, and basically the quicker the stride are, the shorter the trip. And his stride, I think, is actually perfect for 10 furlong horses. His pedigree screams it, so I just wish they'd give him a crack and see how they get on. They keep trying a mile. Yeah, and he's trying a mile, and he keeps getting beaten. Little pocket rocket. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Right, well, I think we're moving on. That was the 3:35, wasn't it? So are we going to go to 50 at Newmarket?
Take it away, Natalie, and I'll go to bed.
To the Bunbury
Cup. Yes.
I always think it just sounds so regal, the Bunbury Cup.
Did you say bum or a bun?
Bunbury.
Oh,
Bunbury.
Sorry.
Not bum. Bunbury.
The Bunbury Cup.
The Bunbury Cup. Yeah. I wrecked my head against this. I've actually come down on a horse that surprised me that I've put this in as my pick. I've surprised myself on a horse called Jumbie. for Eve Johnson-Houghton here. Jockey booking. I mean, Christoph Smoot. I can never say his surname right. Christoph Simeon. I thought was brilliant, but I liked what he did at Ascot, to be fair, in the Wokingham. He dwelt the start. He was short of room over a furlong out. He briefly went second. He kept on. Then he was held by Popmaster and the winner, Rohan. But it was a tight finish, wasn't it? It's not much out. Was it like 3/4 of length?
Yeah, no, it was a really tight finish.
I mean, that is very, very tight. The Bunbury Cup has firmly been the plan for this horse, which I like because I love targets, because that's if a good trainer targets, right? And if that has been the target, they think that this is right for the horse. I have a lot of faith in that. He's reliable. The only thing I would say, Rixie, which I'm sure you agree with, it's not going to be that easy, is it? A mark of 105, 9 stone 7, taking on Montasib 8 stone 13 and Sambaru 8 stone 5. But I've got to keep the faith. He deserves a big pop this season, and it's been frustrating because he's a really good horse. It's just going to be tough off his mark. But the excellent Christoph Simeon, I'm hoping on this big Super Saturday, Jumby is actually going to come home in front.
Yeah, it's interesting with him. A mark of, what's he on now? 106, I think. He did threaten to be kind of a Group 1 sprinter at one stage last year. He, I think he only went off 11-1 in the Commonwealth Cup. So, but obviously the ground massively went against him last year. Didn't I? Remember we had that absolute monsoon. It looked like it looked like the meeting was going to be called off. So yeah, no, I can see him. I suppose the key thing with me in the Bunbury Cup, not the Bunbury Cup this year, is there doesn't look to be a lot of pace on. So I don't want something that's going to be properly held up. And Roscollin of David O'Mara's, he has led in the past, and I thought he ran an absolute cracking race in the Buckingham Palace, because basically he got way too far behind. And then he had a bit of a nightmare run through as well. Daddy Tuddup had to kind of pick and choose where he was going. And, that was under top weight. But, he still shaped like a horse who was in form there. He had the first time tongue tie on as well. I just think if James Doyle can go forward again on him tomorrow in a race lacking pace, I think that's definitely going to increase his chances. So yeah, it's going to be Roscollin winning place for me here. I've gone place as well because I think he's a little bit overpriced in the win market, but also tactically I think the race sets up really well for him and he's got some very strong form. So yeah, Roscollin for me in the Bunbury Cup.
Yeah, and I also thought, what about the Vaffatino, just worth another crack? I mean, it didn't play out last time, but I don't know, this French looking. I just wondered whether it might be worth a bit of a squeak at the prices, Vaffatino.
Yeah, obviously ridden by Benoit de Lesseat, who's a very good young claimer. And the other thing with him, he won the Victoria Cup. He's a horse who likes to track the pace as well. So in a race lacking pace, he's probably going to tactically be in a better position than most here. So
yeah, I just and then look again, and then look again, and you think, I don't want to not mention that because I could just see that. Well, I could certainly see hitting the frame. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's one of those races, big field handicaps. You could pick 3 or 4 out. So that's the Bunbury Cup done. Will we move on again?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's move on to the John Smith's Cup handicap, guys. Tom is AWOL at the moment, but we'll try and get back before the end. But
no, we're just keeping it fresh. We're keeping people on their toes.
It is a bit wild this spring. I'm kind of enjoying it, to be honest with you.
I'm hoping Tom is going to be putting in half an invoice here.
Yeah, he's got to knock off 50%.
Yeah, at least.
My back is starting to creak here. We're starting to carry.
Well, that's it. We'll add Tom's onto the 2 of you guys. There's no issue there. I'll sort all that out. Marjan, 5.8 favorite here currently. Robert, 6.8. Intelligent, 10.0. I'm at 11.0. Brilliant Light, 13.0. Just Fine, 13.0. And bigger prices the rest. We'll go to you, Rixie, for this one. The John Smith's Cup handicap. Who do you like?
Yes, mine was just kind of it was hopefully a value selection at the top of the weight. So I actually like certain lads of Mick Channon's. He missed last season through injury. I don't know what kind of injury he had, but I think the Channon team have done really well to get him back in decent order this year. He started the season very well in the Huxley Stakes. behind Solid Stone. You know, Solid Stone is a proper kind of Group 3 animal, and just how the race panned out, he was a long way off the pace early, off what was a good gallop. So I was worried then he'd bounce going to Royal Ascot, but he actually ran a really nice race again in the Wolferson Stakes. It was a bit of a messy race. Anything held up off the pace kind of really struggled to get involved on what was really quick ground. So again, I thought he ran very well. I suppose the other key with him is he's been to York twice and he's run here really well. He was actually second in this very race behind Sinjari, who won a good handicap last weekend off a mark of 103. And then later in that season, he won the Strensel Stakes of Group 3 under Holly Doyle. This day I had him running to a rating of 113. He runs off 107 here with a £5 claimer, George Bass, who's got a good relationship with him as well. So, you know, effectively he's running off 102. I've had him running off 113 in the past. So I think even though he's top weight and that will put a lot of people off, I think he is handicapped to win. And he's got that all-important York form. So, yeah, it's going to be certain lad for me carrying top weight in the John Smith's Cup.
Have you had a go, Natalie?
Yeah, I like your case there, Rixie. I'm almost convinced. I love this race. I think it's always a brilliant contest. I was trying to find some different angles. And Matt Burrows, clearly talented, but hasn't raced since September last year. Nah, it's not the dream. It's not ideal preparation. The past 4 John Smith's Cup winners have all raced over a longer distance than their previous start, but it's not always the case. This is why it's interesting. Master Carpenter 2015, Ballyconcerto 2017 moved up from a mile. But I'm going to look at 2 horses and I'm going to back 2 horses. My first one is Great Guardian for Roger Varian, 11th of 29 runners at Ascot in an absolute cavalry charge in the Royal Hunt Cup. Dark Shift the winner, which I backed. Boom, boom. He was out of pace 2 furlongs out, so I'm hoping 1 mile 2 at York will see him to better effect. That's my logic. And looking at the Fab, I mean, it's so boring, it's so obvious, but the form they're in, good to firm's a huge positive. 42 days since he last ran, which I think is good for this horse. 3rd at York in October on soft ground, didn't look ideal, doesn't want that. 3rd at Haydock latest was his first run back, and I was there that day. It was a good run back. The way he tanked through the race at Haydock was really pleasing, and it suggested to me that he retains much of his ability, and I think he's really going to come on from that. So sadly, I think the favourite wins, but Great Guardian is another pick. I'm going to have 2 in it because why not? Because I can. And I will.
Quite right. You do you.
I do, mate.
I think Intelligent's a great bet. I went to see Jane Chapel-Hyam about 2 months before the Royal Hunt Cup, and she said you should back Intelligent for the Royal Hunt Cup. And then I looked at the form and I was like, don't fancy that. So I was pretty happy.
Don't mention the war.
Pretty happy when he didn't win. So yeah, I think the step up and trip should suit. He's £4 well in. Yeah, I think he's a winner.
Former Group 1 winner.
Great win and place bet. Yeah. Whether the track will suit, I don't know. I was tempted with Rogue Bear, who I think is made for this race. There's just something about. I think he should have won last time. Slightly concerned as to why he didn't. Maybe just stretched him the extra half a furlong. Don't know, but yeah, Intelligent I think is a decent enough bet. The other thing I wanted to add to Ross Collin, because I fancy the horse as well, Rick. The connections are really shrewd. I'm pretty sure they held the horse up last time because it's Ascot, and I'm pretty sure they're going to tell James Dorr to go forward because it's Newmarket, because that's the way they tend to approach things. So I'm pretty sure he'll crack on with it.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's move on to the City Wall Stakes. Rixie and I are at odds with each other here, and Natalie's sitting the Winter Power debate out. So Winter Power 4.1, Royal Acclaim 4.3, Corker 6.0, Couture 6.8. Natalie, you can make your case first of all, and then Rixie and I'll go head to head.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can't be bothered to talk about Winter Power. And I feel like I talk about the horse a lot this year. I'm going to take a risk. in the 5 furlong sprint, and it is a risk because you'll know why. It's Corker back at York. Corker can be quirky. Corker is quirky in the stalls. Corker can do out the start. Corker is not that easy, but Corker is quick. And Carl Burke is a good trainer. Look, it's a problem, isn't it, in a sprint if they do out the start? It's actually a massive problem. So it probably should even be a bigger price than it is, but it's just the natural ability. Ascot in the Palace Holyrood last time, he lost so many lengths. I just made me nearly want to cry. He raced in the 70s, in last, then he was detached. He came 11th of 27. I don't even know how he got there. Given the circumstances, it's not easy to back a quirky horse. Carl Burke, as I've said, is a brilliant trainer. I really think a lot of Clifford Lee. Before Ascot, Corker won well at York in May. Again, dwelt the start. All I'm saying is I hope Carl, every day at home, has been in the flipping stalls with that horse. Get out. And Corker is going to show us all what he's made of.
Going to clip you up saying, get out.
Get out, you stupid thing. There's the stall. Get out. And if he does get out, he's got a right chance.
Giles says in true Sean Bean style, one simply cannot back Winter Power at the moment. I don't those gifs or the memes. Okay. Well, so the case for why you can just about back her at the prices is York, yes. Ascot last time, absolutely not. She was chunky on reappearance. If she's 90%, she just wins this, and particularly at this track in listed company. So I'm willing to have a small go at the prices, but I do take into account the fact that she's not very trustworthy at the moment, Rixie.
Yeah, look, on her best form, she's a huge price, massive price. But does she not just look gone at the game? She's barely raised a leg this season. She was a big drifter at Haydock. I had her running to 78 that day. She was a big drifter again at Ascot in the King Stand, and I had her running to 76. She's not even broken 100 yet this year for a filly who was running probably to 115 last year, pretty consistently when she was in good order. It looks like she's maybe gone at the game. And the other thing is, remember when we did the Royal Ascot podcast, didn't Adele mention something about her wind? That her wind has been, she heard something about this horse's wind has given her trouble. Yeah. So they obviously have to declare wind operations now in the UK. They haven't declared anything, so I'm assuming she hasn't got her wind done. And I just think in Royal Acclaim, Corker, Katura, some of those horses there, have York form as well. Machina, I just think there's enough in there to take her on at the prices. Look, it could be a case of she goes here and absolutely bolts up, and you'll be going, my God, 3.0 or whatever it was is an absolutely huge price. But she's priced up on her recent form, I think, and her recent form is absolutely shite. So I'm happy to lay her. She just looks gone at the game to me. So I'd love to see her back because when she's in good order, she's a cracking filly. But I don't know. It's just the vibes, as they say these days, are not good, and I'm happy to take her on.
All right, one-liners for our best lays and best bets, please. So, best lay for you, Declan, straight back at you. Your best lay this weekend.
Best lay is going to be a Taurius in the July Cup. 2 places for me. I don't think he's going to like the extra emphasis on speed here on the July course compared to Ascot. And as an Australian horse, he probably isn't too used to running downhill as well. So I think when you put those 2 things into the mix, along with his along with the emphasis of speed and hold up rider as well on quick ground, I'm happy to lay him 2 places. And the other thing with him is I think they're all at the top of the market are all much of a muchness. Him and Perfect Power are priced up as if they're a little bit ahead, which I don't agree with.
My lay is going to be horse I touched on earlier, Chindit, who I just don't think is very trustworthy. 3.0 up against stronger than the 3-runner field he won. I think I'm against Chindit. I just don't think he really sees his races out. Natalie, anything for the laying for you or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, but I can see your point with Chindit. I think you went into Dalek mode earlier, but Risky and I was saying the same thing. Like, yeah, just I don't think Chindit's as good as we thought. So if I was going to lay, I agree with you, unfortunately, on Chindit, because I do love the horse. And I also don't think Winter Power can win.
Okay, all right, maybe a double lay. Best bets then this weekend. I'll kick off because I didn't really make the case for Vaffatino over at Ascot. I'm pretty sure that he would have finished a lot closer if he wasn't hampered early doors and late on in that race. I think he's going to be up there this time. He tried to get prominent under Benoit de Lassay at Ascot, and he just got a bit squeezed out. He'll be much more prominent here. I think he's got a really good chance in the Bunbury Cup. Your best bet, Natalie?
Yes, I like Vaffatino. My best bet is La Sadude in the 240 at Newmarket, the mile handicap for Richard Hannon. He travels smoothly in his races, looks professional, a type that I really like. And can we just please talk about that Nottingham form when he's beaten by Secret State? Now a Royal Ascot King George winner. So the form has been franked, loads to like about the horse. And La Sadude hopefully will be a winning best bet for Natalie Green.
And Rixie, your boy, is back at York.
Yes, I'm going to York for the John Smith's racing handicap, and it's going to be Aileen Dove for me. Lots of pace in this race, which this horse needs. He's a very strong traveller, can be keen. He's got that all-important course and distance form, and as a handy, compact horse, I think he will like the firm ground better than most.
All right, good stuff. We got there just about. Good news is that my brand new office is
now working.
Worth it's all. Yeah, we're not going in there again, are we? Great. Back in the kitchen. Rixie, thank you, buds. Natalie, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget to check out the watch along. So that's coming up. If you're watching live, the watch along happens later on today. It's about an hour or so away, and it takes in the 6 ITV races. That is with DC, with Dan Hussey, and with Steve Jones. And the selections for today's racing are up online on Insights. There'll be another one up later on today for tomorrow. See you again soon. Bye-bye.